welcome to a very special edition of Focus on Hopkins County. I'm your host, Tim Thomas, and we're coming to you from the beautiful lobby area of the Hampton Inn Suites here in Madisonville, Kentucky. We want to thank Hampton Inn and their management for allowing us to come in and do this very special program. And we hope that you enjoy the program and enjoy what is going to take place on today. If you've been in downtown Madisonville at any time, you've noticed the beautiful sculptures that are located in various places throughout our community. And we're happy to have with us Mr. Bo Belinkie, who has traveled in from South Bend, Indiana, who is the winner of a prestigious award that is going to be presented on today. And also with us is Mr. Shane Browning, who is the Executive Director of the Community Improvement Foundation. And we encourage you to call someone and let them know the program is on. Shane, Mr. Belinkie, glad to have you both on Focus on Hopkins County. Glad to have you.
Good to see you again, Tim.
Same here. Shane, tell us a little bit about what this competition was about.
Well, this Madisonville Outdoor Sculpture Competition started about 5 years ago in response to the New Cities Initiative. That was a program put together from the city, the county, the college, the chamber, and other entities. And one of the things that the people of Hopkins County said that they wanted was to see public art. And so the Community Improvement Foundation took on that challenge, and we started the Outdoor Sculpture Competition. And we're in our 5th year. I'm so excited to see that program grow, but also to see how it's literally bringing transformation to our downtown area. As we're seeing our culture change, we're seeing beautification of properties, and we're also seeing this revolving art program, so that as art comes in, it's not just there permanently necessarily, but we see a rotation of art. And so today's a very exciting day. We have an opportunity to present Mr. Belinkie, an artist from South Bend, with the Best of Show award. And so we're really excited to have him joining us here in Madisonville today for this great day.
We're excited as well, and I know that the Community Improvement Foundation usually handles grants and this type of thing, and are able to reach out to people to put their finances in a place that will give back to the community. Tell me a little bit how this part of Community Improvement Foundation got into the artistic world.
That's an excellent question, Tim. And typically, as a community foundation, what we do is work with donors for endowments, and then making grants out to nonprofits or for scholarships. One of the components of the Community Foundation is to help with artistic and cultural development in the community. So through this program, we were able to work with local officials, local donors, our local arts community, to incorporate a program that brings diversity and cultural expression into the community, which is one of many components of what we do. So it's really exciting to see how that has grown and how we've received national recognition for the program. Another component that we do is the America in Bloom program in conjunction with the city of Madisonville. America in Bloom is operating in over 200 cities across the nation, and year after year they recognize what the Community Foundation, the city of Madisonville, and our residents are doing through this sculpture program. And it's actually now being duplicated in other communities as those communities have called or visited Madisonville and are beginning to ask questions and wanting to do a similar program in their own community. So it's neat to see not just transformation happening in Madisonville, but yet around the country as well.
How do you attract artists?
Well, that has been an interesting challenge. And so we have worked with art schools and art colleges to send out information. We advertise nationally, and we've attracted artists from around the country through various magazines and online distribution outlets to connect with sculpture artists around the country. And so we've had artists enter our competition from Indiana, Oregon, Kentucky, Tennessee, North Carolina, Illinois, Ohio. Most of them are more regional, border states to Kentucky, but it's been exciting to see those entries come in from literally all around the country.
Well, you know, that speaks well for our community as well, because it puts a spotlight on what we as citizens of the best town on earth are doing.
Absolutely, absolutely. I could not agree more. It's been amazing and wonderful to see how the people of Hopkins County have embraced the public display of sculpture. We're careful in what we select. When the artists enter, we review those artworks for safety, for appropriateness. We want to make sure it's something that our local culture would embrace. But at the same time, we try to give the artist a lot of leeway so that they can use any type of media. Mr. Belinke uses a lot of cement, which is a very unique form of art. There's not many artists out there that's taking cement into the air as he does. And so it's very fascinating. Others are using marble, metals, wood, and so we leave our competition open. The economy dipped a little bit in 2009, and we're still recovering from that, and so it made it a little harder for artists because art stopped selling, and so some of the artists out there stopped making art because they had to take on other work just to make a living, and that was the time that we're kicking off our competition. So I feel like it's been a little slow in some ways getting started, but the quality of art that we are seeing year after year is absolutely phenomenal.
Wow.
And the different types of media that the artists are bringing really shows the creativity, and then the response from the community. When a person looks at a piece of art, they're going to see something different from maybe what the artist envisioned or from what the person next to them sees. And the feedback that we're getting from the community on what they're seeing when they take the time to gaze upon this creation that an artist made is really exciting. Whether it's a child, whether it's the working mom, whether it's the retired individual, we all see something a little different. And it's exciting to see that creativity spawn in a person as they take the time to look upon this creation that an artist made.
Right. They say the old cliche, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And what a person sees, I think, reflects not only their own personality, but the personality of the artist as well.
Absolutely.
Mr. Belinke, as I said earlier, glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Beautiful fall morning.
Beautiful.
Does a lot for your psyche.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit how long you've been making art.
Well, from high school, I went to college, Heron School of Art in Indianapolis. I was there 2 years. Moved home, had a fire, and lost all my work. So I thought I needed a degree in something. I went to beauty school and became a hairdresser, which has been my career for 40 years. I've been a potter for 50 years, and now a sculptor for 10 years. So that's my life. It's all art. It's all different mediums. It's all the same approach to beauty. Keeping America beautiful was my slogan, if you would.
Yeah. When you talk about art and getting into the mind of the artist, how do you go about from your mental? How do you come up with your creations?
My, that's kind of deep. I do a lot of sketching. These works that I've been doing in steel and cement start with an armature, and it's covered with a steel lath that then accepts the cement skin. And I'm somewhat geometric with my work right now, and especially for outdoor sculpture competitions, that non-objective visual, I think, is what people look for. Because it's something different. It's something different than the monumental sculpture necessarily, but the work is fashioned in several stages, and from the welding, which is the true sculpture, it's taking steel rod and it's drawing in space, and then the finish, the application is like the painting of the overall surface.
Yeah. Tell us about the winning piece. I think it's entitled Round Portal Garden Bench, correct?
Yes.
Where do you get the idea for this? And hopefully, I'm sure we're going to get a picture of that.
Well, actually 2 years ago, my sculpture that was the round in the block that was in the same park as Portal, I was inspired by the top of that piece, which had the hole, and I envisioned an enlargement of that. And I got back to the studio and immediately started working on this 6 foot high and 6 foot wide sculpture with this beautiful 4 foot opening. And I like the broken plate mirror in my work. It's somewhat of a signature because cement, even in the air, is sometimes flat, it's dull. And that little twinkle that the mirror gives when you walk by, you notice it. And so it made it alive. And as I was finishing it, I was getting most excited. There again, I think these call for sculptures, they want artists to have some movement in their work, have some noise in their work. They're actually calling it out from the artist to be more creative and get the sculpture moving. So I think that's what I love about the glass, the mirror, that it does cause reflection and a little visual interest. So that was the idea from 2 years ago, my entry, to when I got home and started working on the new. There it was, Round Portal, and I loved the idea you could sit in it, you could go through it. I just was intrigued about the public anticipation and the public reaction, and how they can respond to it physically and also mentally and spiritually. So
Right. And I know you've entered in to contests here before.
yes.
Here in the city of Madisonville. How does it feel to be the winner of this prestigious award?
It's wonderful. I've admired the people before me because it gives us the opportunity to compete. And
Sure.
It isn't always winning, it's just the fact that we have created something that we can share with the world. So it's wonderful to have this opportunity, and Madisonville has been very generous to me and hosting me here at the hotel and giving me honors. Now this is the 3rd honor I have from the sculpture show and the community foundation. It's a wonderful world.
Yeah.
It's just really excellent for artists. And Shane was saying that, well, there's not a lot of sales, but we continue to make art, and the other communities that are taking work, and work then can be seen by many people, and then it can move. We kind of consider it vagabond sculpture, where every year it might go somewhere else. So it's really showing a lot of people what some of us do.
Sure, sure.
It's exciting to be on this end of it because I've got too many ideas and not enough time.
Yeah.
So I've got my work cut out for me.
Sure, sure.
Love it.
Yeah.
It's just a dream.
It's always good to be able to do something you enjoy doing.
Yes.
There are so many people that go through life unfulfilled because they're not fulfilling their dream. And when you're able to do that.
I am lucky. My hairdressing, my clients know what I do and are very supportive. And I've got a captured audience in that sense. Everything I do is creativity, and that is my medicine. that's what keeps me going
Sure, sure.
and constantly testing,
Mm-hmm.
testing my mind and my soul and my creativity.
Sure.
So that's a wonderful thing.
Great.
Tim, I
Shane?
just have
Yeah,
to
go ahead.
share the story of, and I shared with Bo last night over dinner, but the story of when the jury is a team of judges that come through to evaluate the sculpture, look at the quality, and determine who's going to be our winner. And so the day after the sculptures were installed, we have 3 in Madisonville now, one on Arch Street. That one's called Daylily.
Yes.
And then we have one at Sugg Street called Quarry Moons. And then our winning sculpture, Round Portal Garden Bench, is at Sugg, West Center, across the street from Crowded House.
Yes.
And so as it was a beautiful sunny day, and as the jury stepped out of the vehicle, we stopped, and all at once I said, "Look," and I could hear each of the jurors just, they just held their breath for a moment.
Wow.
The way that Mr. Belinkie had us position the sculpture, the light hit it just right, reflected off the mirrors, and there were orbs of light that went up the entire wall.
Wow.
And it
Amazing.
was absolutely breathtaking. It took a sculpture that's 6 feet wide and 6 feet tall, and literally brought the entire sculpture part to life as this light reflected, and it was just breathtaking, and the jurors were awestruck as they took, and as we approached the sculpture, it was almost such a holy moment that they didn't want to touch it because they didn't want to block the light. And so for Mr. Belinkie to tell us about how he had this concept of, you know, a hole in it's 4 feet wide, and then he takes his hands and hand places every mirror and hand touches every piece that's there, and then it created something that's literally larger than life. And so I drove by just this morning to see it again, and to see that this literally, it's almost as if the piece is glowing. So I just encourage everyone to take the opportunity. If you find a sunny day, stop in, or a rainy day, because the color of the actual piece changes when it gets wet. And take the time, go visit, stop, sit in it, take your picture, explore the beauty and the depth, the hours and hours of work that the artist has put into each of these pieces is really incredible. But to see it when the light hits it just truly it brings a new form of life into Madisonville. So
Wow.
It's so exciting to see that.
Mr. Belinkie, as he's telling that, I can see the emotion,
Yeah,
how emotional that is for you.
That's all I need to know. More to come. That's what I hope the mayor did in my work. It sometimes is placed in an open area, and I haven't had this reflection before. And apparently the round portal is in the right spot. And how wonderful that once a day, maybe twice a day, I don't know, I have to see it myself, but it makes me warm in knowing that it's alive.
Yeah, yeah. It's taking on a life of its
And
own.
it needs Mother Nature to give it that light. And I think she's with me all the way. I don't feel I create these things by myself. It's kind of inner drive and the atmosphere. I just don't do these things alone. It's the rest of my life, my world, and how it all affects me, and it's just really a wonderful thing to have.
It is. Shane, tell us how long the art is on display.
The art is on display for 1 year at a time. So over time, we've adjusted our dates to try and find a date, time of the year that works good in the artist world. As there's other competitions, and Mr. Belinkie has art in other cities, literally all across the country, as do other artists. I mean, most sculptures, if this is something they're doing, they'll enter multiple competitions. And so last year we even had some artists that entered ours. We made our selection, made the call, and then when we called them, they had already placed that into another competition in another city. And so we moved our date back to the fall. We didn't find that that as a problem this year. But art's on display for 1 year at a time. While it's on display, it's also for sale. It's available for purchase. A portion of the proceeds of the sale does stay in our community. The artist obviously gets most of that. And so if a person was to see one they were interested in purchasing or getting more information, they can contact my office at 270-245-2250, and we'll connect them directly with the artist, and so that they can learn more about the piece, and if they would be interested in a purchase. We have had art sale. Just this past year's competition, one of our pieces did sell, and will be on permanent display at the new Mar Park. A portion of the plans in Mar Park is to have a sculpture walk as a part of that park, and so we're really excited. Some of our pieces, Embryonic is currently on display at McGarry Park next to the jewelry stores downtown, and so that's exciting to see its permanent home. We have two others that are awaiting their permanent home, and we're looking for those locations. So if there was a business or a person that would be interested in hosting a site for next year's competition, we'd be more than welcome to discuss that and work that out and make it happen. But also, if a person would like to purchase one, could place in front of their home, their private garden or business, by all means, that are available for purchase. And so, I believe Mr. Blinky's piece, although the city of Madisonville will own it at the end of the exhibition time,
Right.
I believe he could probably commission one out if someone wanted one similar to it or like it, or other pieces. He's very creative, and we can connect that potential buyer with Mr. Blinky, and they could have the beauty of Round Portal or something similar in their garden or home as well.
Well, I can see, just listening to you talk about it, Shane, I can tell that you're excited about this as well, that the art, and when we talk about America in Bloom, which the city of Madisonville participates in, it kind of comes together, blends in together. This is exciting to you.
It is very exciting, Tim. My heart truly is to see transformation come to our community, and that would come in the form of many different ways. And seeing artistic expression, cultural change is truly exciting. Quite honestly, if the people of Madisonville are not excited about Madisonville, the people of Hopkins County are not excited about Hopkins County, then we really can't expect somebody else to be.
Right.
So if we want our home and the place that we live, work, and play to be a great place, then we have to be excited about that. And we have to bring change, because someone else is not going to do that for us. And so it is exciting to me to connect with the quality of people like Mr. Blinky all around the country, and to bring their passions, their desires, their vision, and in a way that we can demonstrate that in Madisonville, and it expands literally his heart into our community, and into generations to come, as they can look upon a piece of art and say, wow, that's a part of my heritage.
Sure, sure. That's great. And for people that may be listening to the program, and I'm sure they've heard Community Improvement Foundation before, Western Kentucky, I've heard of that before, but in a synopsis of kind, can you just kind of tell us, the listening audience, what is Community Improvement Foundation? How can people get involved in that?
The Community Improvement Foundation is an organization that has been in existence since 1971, and over time we've been able to do a lot of different things. The Fine Arts Center, now known as the Gleam and Mar Center for the Arts, was the founder's first project, and they were able to establish a community arts center that's now a performing arts center, state-of-the-art, incredible facility. We've been able to do many other things. Our focus has always been on community improvement, whether that be through cultural expression, scholarships, environment, through various tree programs, even sound. The courthouse chimes is one of our projects. If a person would like more information or find out ways that they could be involved in our community, whether that be through giving their resources, volunteering with their time, their energy, their skills, their talents, all it takes is a quick phone call. We are, for the most part, if there's something that you're interested in or you've got a desire, we can probably connect you to the right people, or we'll bring together those ideas and concepts with decision makers, with fund holders to hopefully just continue this positive momentum to bring change and transformation to our community in a way that benefits us for years to come.
Well said, well said. Mr. Belinky, do you have any other kind of art on display?
I am part of a group out of Michigan, the Midwest Sculpture Initiative. It's out of Blissfield, Michigan. Again, they have a call every February, and I'm fortunate to have 5 sculptures in 4 different cities. Madisonville had the idea that the first year I entered, they chose 2 of my sculptures. Cokeville, Michigan, which is near Saginaw, Michigan. This is their first year in their competition. They chose 2 of my sculptures.
Wow.
So Canton, Michigan, Jackson, Michigan. These are similar pieces, but not the love, I guess. I mean, I was so inspired by my previous entry 2 years ago, and to develop the new sculpture from what I had made before was a wonderful inspiration. The other pieces seem to be geometric and abstract, but I do have one I call the Gong Pyramid that has a stainless steel tube, and I constructed a ringer and a clapper, and in the wind it gongs. It's a real deep, wonderful noise. Then I have another sculpture that has an arm on the top that rotates, although it doesn't go quickly. It takes a gust of wind to move it, and I've called it gustometer. So the names kind of come from the actions, maybe, or the overall look of the piece. But Midwest Sculpture Initiative is about since 2005, and various cities, again, are doing this wonderful thing. But Madisonville has the prize on the other end. And that is, that's wonderful. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Shane, tell us a little bit about how the judges / jury decides on a winner.
Well, the jury, when the artists enter their competition, that they'll send a written description along with their artist statement, and they also send us photos. We review those as a group, looking at the different pieces, looking at the size, as best we can tell through the photos, looking for appropriateness, safety, and appeal. We're looking as best we can from photo. Is this quality work? Does it express what the artist said that they were there? Are we able to see that? From there, depending on how many locations we have, the number of entries will be selected. We'll contact the artist. They're offered a stipend to come, and the artist has to be on site to do the installation. That way it's positioned in a way that it displays the way the artist sees that. And so, for example, with Mr. Belinky's, we could have set it straight on and we would have totally lost the light effect. But he said, no, turn it back. And I can remember the day we installed it, he said, no, turn it a little bit more. and so, that was what, brought life to that piece. After all the pieces are installed, the jury comes back together and we do a hands-on evaluation where we actually touch the piece, we look at the piece. inside, outside, upside down. We crawl through them. In the case of his, we sit on them. In the case of his, we just want to get a hands-on feel of the quality of the look, and then from there, ultimately, it's kind of the judge's opinion. Each person will see something that will inspire them. If it was a different panel of judges, there might be a different decision. You know, everyone sees something differently. So ultimately, it boils down to what the jury, each individual juror thinks. Now, at the same time, we do include Barbie Hunt. She is one of our jurors who is an artist, well known in our community.
Correct.
And well respected, and she really knows what she looks at and what she's seeing. So it's not that it's just an average, ordinary person, but we do have someone who's an expert in the field,
yes,
to help us do this jury selection. And she knows her work, she knows sculpture, she knows art. And so just a shout out and kudos to Barbie Hunt for her help, and not only with being a juror over the years, but also she helped put this program together. And
it's true.
Was able to add some input. We've actually patterned the whole program after another small community in Oregon, a community of about 1,500. They do a similar program. They have about 50 sculptures on display at a time. It's a wonderful community, and they're continuously adding permanent sculptures into their sculpture parks, plural. And so my thought was, if a community of 1,500 can have that many sculptures, then why could we not, as a county of 60,000 or Madisonville of 19,000?
Yeah, yeah.
So we're moving forward.
We are. And this is just an exciting time in the life of Madisonville and Hopkins County. And I'm reminded of John Kennedy once said, when he talked about art, he said, you know, he looked forward to an America that would recognize art for what it is, and would bring it more to the forefront. And I think, Ms. Beniki, you are part of that foundation of bringing art to life. And long after you're gone, those sculptures will still live on and speak for you. What a great feeling that is.
Well, that's a blessing again. The monumental work that praises and honors our soldiers, that is a whole other realm of sculpture. But I think these modern days, we need something different, because the sculptures are put into parks, along the streets, now in certain areas that are designated for sculpture walks. It's changing the landscape. It's giving the landscape a different interest, and especially the ever-changing, constantly changing sculpture. It hopefully makes people stop and look and, oh, I don't remember that there, you know, because we're so busy. We're in such a hurry. And if anything, a sculpture can make them stop and think and say, gee, that's different. And they either will love it or they hate it. And that's how we choose. We want the best. We like the best. But at least it's there to cause a stir.
Sure.
You know, to catch a reflection, to cause an idea to be made. And that's, I think, the modern outdoor sculpture now is doing that. And it's exciting to be involved in the making of it. So good times for modern outdoor sculpture. And hurrah for the people that can support it and give the artists some money so that we can buy some more supplies and make more art. That's our mission.
Great, great. Let me thank you again for being on Focus on Hopkins County, being in our community, and bringing a breath of fresh air to this great city that we live in.
Thank you very much.
Glad to have you. Shane,
Thank you.
thank you for being a part. You're just family to us, and let me take time to thank you on behalf of Focus on Hopkins County, Wayne and myself, for how Community Improvement Foundation supports this program and the efforts we try to do to get information out to the region. And I encourage you to watch this program, and you can go to surfky.com and tell your friends that are not able to pick it up on local television. They can go to surfky.com and watch the program by way of the internet and YouTube, and we're excited about that as well. I think it brings a new dimension to what we're trying to do. In the upcoming few weeks, we're going to be having, as you know, we just finished a big election here in Hopkins County, and we're going to bring together all the newly elected officials and talk about their plans for the upcoming new year. So we're excited about that. So we're glad you're tuned into this. We're going to proceed from here and be taking you to the ceremonial part where Mayor David Jackson will be making a presentation to our guest, and he will be having some remarks as well. Tune into that, and on the screen you do see the information to Mr. Belinke and also the Community Improvement Foundation numbers where you can call and learn more about this, and they can go to, again, where is the sculpture located on Center Street?
It is on Center Street, across the street from Crowded House.
We encourage you to go by and look at that in downtown Madisonville. Coming up is our second half.
And again, greetings and welcome everyone to today's very exciting time to announce the Best of Show winner of the City of Madisonville's Outdoor Sculpture Competition. This time, just want to introduce Mayor David Jackson to come and share with us this morning.
We're really excited to be a part of this presentation today, and we had a lot of really great entries, and so it was a difficult decision, but one entry just stood out above the rest of them. And so we're really excited to have the artist here today and to make a presentation to him here in a few minutes. But again, we were having a conversation about the importance of arts in the community and how bringing the arts out to the community is a great way to get people to interact with it on a daily basis. So again, we're excited to be sponsors of this great competition, and we're really thankful for everybody who entered, and we especially appreciate Mr. Belinke and his wonderful entry into this art exhibit.
Okay. So at this time, we just want to bring Mr. Bo Belinke up. Bo is the creator of the piece of art called Round Portal Garden Bench. It's located at West Center Street here in Madisonville, Kentucky. And Bo is an artist from South Bend, Indiana. And we'll let him speak a little bit about the piece itself. But before we do, we'd like to present him with the Best of Show Purchase Award. And for photo opportunities, I'd like to invite the foundation members and the jury panel if they would come and join us, and so we can get some pictures. So y'all step in close here. Mr. Belinke, thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much. This is a wonderful opportunity. And thank you for the beautiful interest in art and challenging sculptures to be presented to the public and challenging the sculptors to make work that talks back. I think that's wonderful. That I didn't realize mine was so powerful. Thank you. Sunshine. We all need the sun. So it's a wonderful opportunity, and this is my third year with the call for entries, and I've just had wonderful hospitality and great rewards. Thank you very much.
Well, we certainly
all of you very much.
Yes.